From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
It's a big afternoon of Afternoons LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check updated 2021. A deal will be happening, but not today. The RECON may have looked like it was done yesterday, but it wasn't. And Bernie Sanders gives us incredible news as he's making changes to what's been done. We'll have the latest details. LA told you so. Nancy tried to call the vote on the roads and bridges yesterday. We blocked the vote. Another win for the Purple Power. The roads and bridges will not go for a vote first. I have the latest breaking details on the voting process. The price is right. It's not going to 1.5. It's staying at 1.75, and it could go even higher. Then, the incredible great news is that programs in, programs out, but we're not done yet. Bernie Sanders talking to press today and saying, you know what? It's a good bill. I'm going to make it better. I still have more things to add in there. Add-ons is all about this channel. Student loan debt forgiveness, more debt could be forgiven. And then that COLA raise, more benefits could be coming to you in the next few days or weeks. But guess what? This stimulus is right behind it. I got those incredible great news. And as we go into a big afternoon, there is so much happening across the board with this RECON. But the great news that you wanted to hear happened, and it was that we have a work in progress. We are not at the finish line. The RECON is still in flux, still things are still being added in there, and this is great news, and Bernie is not the only one saying this. This is a big, great, exciting afternoon's broadcast. It starts right here, right now, trick or treat, or Mitch or Lobster. Here we go. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day and hope the weather is good where you are getting ready for that trick or treat. Well, the weather is warming up here in Southern California as the deal's happening, but the deal on the RECON not yet formulated. You may have thought when the president addressed the American people yesterday that that was a RECON deal. It's not finished. I have the latest details, and we'll be going over the vote as the Purple Power blocked the vote on the roads and bridges once again. The price is right. 1.75 could go even higher, and programs in, programs out, and not the definitive word on this either, because more things are being added in there across the board. Then we'll be turning to student loan debt forgiveness, which is heating up. We'll be cutting over to fifth stimulus, which is right behind that, and that is the incredible details of that COLA raise. As it was there, and it's back. Here it is, that COLA raise. We'll be cutting over to the incredible next round of student loan debt forgiveness that can happen, and we got those details and more as we go into a big afternoon's broadcast. It is a great day as Bernie Sanders says what you wanted him to say, which is we got a good RECON, but we're going to make it better. And we are going to make it better. And this is LA, America's only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America. The most comprehensive coverage of this subject matter in America, live in the morning, taped in the afternoons. And coming up next is Evenings LA at 5 p.m. Expected to be a huge broadcast because it's been a different news cycle by the hour, on the hour, all week long. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record, 140 million viewers in a year and a half. Like this video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member to get that newsletter Monday through Friday from this channel about the big money, upwards of $40,000 you can get under third stimulus, still paying out. Let's go over this incredible RECON, the status of the RECON, the price tag, the programs, and the negotiations. First with the overview of the RECON, and then we'll go over the specifics in the after the 10-minute mark of this video. This RECON will pay viewers of this channel on average about $15,000 across several programs. Those programs passed in a House subcommittee several weeks ago. The same programs covered on this channel over the last few months, but some programs modified, some programs removed. They're divided between three clusters of checks. These RECON payouts are for individuals across the board. People who are parents, people who are not parents, single individuals, people who are married, people who are seniors, SSI, SSDI, people who are not on benefits, people in red states, and people in blue states. Let's go over the status of each of the clusters of checks, the breaking news on them right now. Here we go. The most comprehensive coverage you're going to hear about this starting right now. Hazard pay. and elder care are among the items in the first cluster. Let's go over that first cluster. Hazard pay survived. The earned income tax credit broadened for one more year for those essential workers. It will not be lifetime. It will be one more year. Elder care got in there. That is that up to $4,000 a year for elder care, and then up to $4,000 a year for young children's care. The money for college students survived. The Pell's grant made tax-free and increased by about $550. I can tell you for the first time on Afternoons LA. Breaking news about that as well. Then they got the money to the college and to the university as well. The money for repairing your home survived. It absolutely survived. If you live in a low-income community, the home repairs and the incentives for those free home repairs survived. Great news on that as well. Then the money for the CTC, the child tax credit, survived one more year. This is $3,600 or $300,000, depending on the age of the child, for 1 year if you remain a low-income household. Then the money for the bikes, cars, and trucks, which is pre-Trump. It's almost Obama legislation. They extended for another 10 years. It's not money for it. It's just extending the tax benefit of it. 15% for the purchase price of a new electric bike, U.S. auto manufactured. $7,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle, U.S. auto manufactured, and a little bit more if it's for business use. That's the first cluster of checks. Let's go to the next two clusters, and let's go to those add-ons. Let's go to the first add-on right now. That first add-on from Maxine Waters, $25,000 for the purchase price of a new home, and likely did not survive at that price point. But the other provisions from Maxine Waters all survived, because Maxine Waters, $300 billion for housing issues, got removed, then got back in there and survived. So what is in that housing? It is rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, surviving under forced stimulus. Yeah, another round of it. Home repairs, and maybe some of this $25,000, just not the full amount of it. So what are the other provisions from Maxine Waters that survived? That home repairs for weatherizing your home. Yes. Let's go over the status of the second cluster of checks. Here we go. Paid family leave, medical leave did not survive at the moment, but could be coming in over the weekend. Child care programs, household tax credits, all both survived. The pre-kindergarten survived. Tuition-free community college did not survive. And then the money for weatherizing your home. And there you go. Why is that weatherizing your home very important? You need to weatherize your home. It's the holidays. And people say winterizing. No, not winterizing. It's weatherizing. Especially you need it if Kristen Sinema comes knocking at your door looking for campaign donations. Lock the door. Weatherize it. Now, if you're new to this channel, when I say the word survived or out, it's important to understand that it's by the hour, on the hour. So when I mean it's out at the moment. Things are coming back in and coming back out still as we go into a weekend. You would think, but wait a second, the president's arresting the American people. We're done. Aren't we finished? No. Things are still coming in. Things are still coming out. And not one legislator saying a lot are. This is good news for you across the board. Let's go to the second add-on. It's Bob Casey's money for home health care. Transformative. I mean, groundbreaking. It is so incredible this survived. This is up to $250 billion a year was what he was seeking for home health care. He did not get $250 billion, but he got about $175 billion. Stay with me to the second half of this video. That's when I go over the rundown of each of the programs with the numbers, the durations, who gets the money. Stay with me. So Bob Casey got in this provision. What is it for? It's for free home health care if you're a senior or a person on disability. Wow, this is incredible. And that survived. Let's go to the third cluster of checks. Let's see which ones in here survived. And it's a deliciousness. Here we go. Free school meals for all survived. Free school meals for all survived. Cheaper prescription medication did not survive at the moment. The farmers, we don't know. The free internet, we don't know. It may have been under housing, so I'm not going to say no on that. The workers' money, independent contractors, don't know. And then the dental, vision, and hearing, and lowering the eligibility age, and the Medicare expansion. Let me explain that, because that's a mouthful. First, the Medicare expansion across the 50 states did survive because of Warnock and Claiborne's wonderful writing of the legislation just 48 hours ago. The dropping the Medicare eligibility age from 65 to 60 or 55, I don't know if it survived. I'm thinking it did not. And then the dental, vision, and hearing, you just heard it first on this channel. The hearing is in there, not the dental and vision, but we're not done yet. I got all those incredible details coming up in the second half of this video. It's very exciting. It's great news across the board. All right, now let's go to that third add-on. That third add-on is that monthly stimulus check. The MSC IRS monthly stimulus check, the situation's far from over on this one at all because legislators can still add it in there. Where can they add it in there? They can add it in on the House bill, or they can add it in on the Senate side. You're going to see in the second half of this video for the first time ever really new insight as to where the voting process goes. I had always said starts in the House, goes to the Senate. After they initially said starts in the Senate, goes to the House, it looks like they're going back to going Senate, House. So very, very interesting. The House may actually write the legislation, but they may not vote on it. It may be the senators who vote on it. And that will give the opportunity for a lot of things. One, you could have an add-on after the House members write it, but before the senators vote on it. You could have it during the Senate vote-a-rama, or you can have it added by the House members. A lot of different opportunities. I always like the House to vote first. It's not a big difference. I prefer the House to vote first before the senators. But now we have new indication today, breaking news right on this video, that they want the senators to vote first on the recon. This is big because guess what? Coons, Casey, Warren, Sanders, Schumer all say that they want to give you a monthly IRS stimulus check. In the last 2 weeks, what has the landscape been? Donnie jumped into the live chat yesterday. I think it was the afternoon's 3 o'clock show. Donnie jumped in the chat and he said he called 3 offices of senators yesterday. I know it was Chuck. And I think it was Liz Warren was the other one. I don't remember the third. And he said all 3 said they're still pushing to put a monthly stimulus check in there on the Senate side. Huge. This is why your advocacy is very important. This is why Jennifer's on the live chat every day. I love Jennifer, one of my earliest viewers of this channel. She's a Republican. She loves Purple Power as much as you and I do. And she said, how many people have called to advocate today? I love that. She checks in on people. Say, have you advocated? Absolutely. Let's go to that credible message from the chief of staff to one of the most important Democrats for that recon ever. And I have updates about that as well. Let me go to that in a second. But first, let me read you the message. The message is we need to continue to advocate. The message basically says, no time to rest on your hands. You need to be picking up the phone and calling. They now have received from the LA Purple Power more words of advocacy than they have received from the American Petition. Now they have a better understanding of what is in this recon because of you, LA, and you to keep on pushing across the board. Incredible, great news. There you go. The message is very clear in this message from the legislature to us that we need to keep on advocating. In the second half of this video, you're going to see really the great details that are unfolding today. Number one, that the recon is not a done deal, that they're still modifying things. The president tried to make it look like it was wrapped up in a bow before he got on the plane to fly to Rome to meet the Pope. And, the Pope turned to Joe Biden and said, do you want to forgive anything? Yeah, can we forgive the San Francisco hairstylist who did that to Nancy's hair? The president said, there's evil everywhere. He says, I know, I work with Mitch every day. So there we go. Yeah, I could just keep on going. The president is in Rome, and there's just a lot of wonderful things there. And they're weatherizing Rome, because they got to keep Christine out of Rome as well. Keep her out of Vatican City. Anyway, so we have a lot of incredible details because the president wanted to make it look like the recon was a wrapped-up deal done before he got on the plane. It's not. It's not. In the second half of this video, we have so much incredible, great stuff coming up. First, I have the great latest comments that came in from Bernie Sanders, who says, it's a good bill, but it's not a finished bill. And so when asked by the reporters, they said point blank, are you saying that you're going to be trying to get more stuff added in there? He says, yes, absolutely. Bernie's not alone. Nancy Pelosi says she's going to try to be adding stuff in there. Gothenheimer, yeah, that guy, the problem creator, he says he's going to be adding stuff in there. Everyone is still trying to put stuff in there. And guess what? We still have working time to get stuff in there. What is the working time? I'll go over what happened with the blocking of the roads and bridges. Block the road, our hashtag from yesterday won. Because guess what? They did not call the vote on the roads and bridges. They didn't even attempt to do it. The price is right at 1.75. It could still go a little bit higher. We're now getting an indication about that. And what programs are in and programs out. This is the latest rundown. Great news. You're going to hear the latest comments from Bernie Sanders saying, I'm putting stuff back in there. I'm putting stuff in there. It's a good bill. but it needs to be better. It's called the Build Back Better plan. Well, Bernie wants to make it better. Then student loan debt, more student loan debt could be forgiven. And then the big lifts for COLA raise. I got such great stuff coming up the second half of this video. I'm really excited for you. Let's get to it. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds as a beautiful, fabulous, incredible trick-or-treat edition of Afternoons LA continues. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Afternoons LALATE as a deal could be happening. Breaking news, a deal did not yet happen in the RECON. You may have thought the RECON was done yesterday. It's not done. So do we have a bill or do we not have a bill? I have the latest details on that. I told you so. Americans will be seeing an incredible item across the board, and that is the blocking of the roads and bridges. But what comes up next? I have the latest breaking details on that. The price is right. $1.75 trillion is the price of the RECON, but what programs are in and what programs are out? We'll be looking over to student loan debt forgiveness, so that's heating up, and then that COLA raise. We got so much incredible details in the second half of this video. I'm very excited for you. These details and more heat up in the second half of LALATE. What a day it is, and I'm excited you're here. And with that, subscribe. Before 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. So much coming up in the second half of this video. Coming up later is Evenings LALATE, the 5 o'clock edition. Boy, you need to stay with me because that is going to be a jaw dropper. The last 5 days, Evenings LALATE has been totally different than Afternoons LALATE, and I expect it to be much the same today. You do not want to miss that video. Catch me on Overnights Crypto, and then the shows at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 and 11:30, all are about forced stimulus, all about the same programs. Very informative videos. Don't miss them across the board. And with that, let's go into the breaking news right now. As Bernie Sanders gave the interview you wanted to hear. Bernie Sanders gave an interview that in the last few hours that basically says, RECON, but not done. Yes. His basic message is exactly what you would have wanted him to say, that a deal is happening, not that a deal has happened. Past tense? Nope. Future tense. The breaking news right at the moment is exactly what I had told you yesterday. I was the first one to tell you that on Sunday, a meeting with Joe Manchin and the President of the United States in Delaware resulted in NBC News saying that a deal had been reached for a 1.75 RECON with Joe Manchin. Untrue. Then I had told you yesterday that news of a deal reached with Manchin and Sinema of a $1.75 trillion RECON, also untrue. Well, so what's the status then? What's the status is that they have really progressed the negotiations substantially, really to the edge of everything, so that it's close, but it's not finished. meaning the door is open to put things in. Let's go over the credible comments from Bernie Sanders. Very, very detailed. This is a result of a video interview with Bernie Sanders walking in the halls of the Senate. Nothing you're going to see in print. This is only going to see if you watch the video. Very, very quick video. He said, number one, do we have 50 senators supporting the recon? That's what Bernie Sanders says. Why did he say this? He says that there's a way that you need to have this recon formally agreed upon, and he does not know if he has 50 senators agreed upon the recon at the moment. I'll go back to this in a second. Number two, he says this is the best bill since the 1960s, but it has some major gaps. This is a direct quote from Bernie Sanders. American people are sick and tired of paying higher medication prices. There's no language in the bill dealing with the higher prescription medication. I'm glad of the expansion of Medicare to cover hearing aid, but the American people want to cover dental and eyeglasses. Number three, before the vote happens in the House, there needs to be an explicit legislative language. And second of all, we need to make this good bill even better. Wow. This is great news, meaning the door is not shut. The door is open to add stuff into this recon. It's a good bill. It needs to be made better. He says it's a very good bill. It's a transformative. It's a history-making bill, one of the best since the 1960s. But the good bill needs to be made even better. When asked, will you support the legislation? He says, I'm not going to answer that question, obviously. Very, very respectful of the president, Bernie. He's not going to trash talk the recon. He's going to praise it because it is a great recon. But he says it needs to get a lot better. He says there's major gaps in it. I'm going to do my best to make a good bill better, so I cannot answer that. And let me explain. When he says the word bill, he's being figurative. He's not being literal because we do not have a bill yet. Then we're going to. A person asked him a great question. I love this reporter asked a very blunt, clear question. Bernie, are you going to try to add those provisions to that? Wow, what a great question. I mean, that's what you and I would be asking. Make it very clear to us. Are you going to be adding those provisions to that? Yes, of course. Paid medical leave also needs to go in there. Whoa. So wait a second. What's going on here? Let's pull up a different graphic on that one. Programs in, programs out. Paid leave, earlier in this video, I told you it was out, but I told you it's out at the time of this recording. So he's saying Medicare expansion for dental and vision, paid leave, which is not one of his provisions, that's Nancy provisions, and prescription medication are among the ones he wants to have going back in there. Wow. So you see how the door is not closed yet. So he says, yes, paid medical and family leave is bad that it's out. It needs to go in there. I'm glad that hearing aid is in there, yes, but we need dental, we need vision, we need prescription medication. It's inconceivable that every year, year after year, Congress talks about higher prescription medication, how we have to do something about it, and we don't take care of it. Wow. Incredible. Let me go over his comment about the vote, because I'm going to get back to this vote in a second. The process, the which goes first. Members of the House will have to have assurances. Members of the House will have to have assurances from the Senate that the recon will pass the Senate. Since day one, both of us have said this. All of us have said these bills are linked, meaning the recon, the roads and bridges. We don't want to see the infrastructure pass until we have a vote in the Senate of 50 votes for the recon. Okay, he's making this so clear. I mean, he just talks. He's one of the clearest sounding persons. His words, you absolutely grasp every single word he's saying. We do not want to see the infrastructure vote called until we have a Senate vote of 50 in favor of the recon. Okay, that's very clear. We're not calling the vote on the roads and bridges, block the road, until we have a vote in the Senate approving the recon. I want to see and then he goes back to the language of the recon. I want to see the language approved. We're doing this in the bill. We've not done this stuff in many, many years. It is transformative. There you go. So let's go over what happened on the roads and bridges, because I covered a lot yesterday, and you may have missed the last update on Evenings LA. Actually, no. Let me back it up. Evenings LA was recorded before I knew what was going to happen on the roads and bridges vote, but I was in the live chat giving people updates on the roads and bridges. So let me tell you what happened. Nancy didn't even attempt to call the vote on the roads and bridges yesterday. She was told by me, well, not me, Pramila, and everyone around me, not to call the vote on the roads and bridges. And she didn't call the vote on the roads and bridges because it was not going to pass. But we learned a little bit more about what progressed on this roads and bridges. Let's go over now the nuance of the voting process. And then we're going to go over the programs that are in and the programs that are out, because that's very important for you. First, let's go over the program process, the procedural process. Pelosi was trying to delink the roads and bridges from the RECON. What she was trying to do in September was call the vote on the roads and bridges in the House. Remember, roads and bridges already passed the Senate. She's trying to call the vote on the roads and bridges in the House, and it's done. And then potentially the RECON could fall by the wayside because there's nothing anchoring the RECON to get over the finish line. So in September, the progressives blocked the vote. Then, right after that, the president said, we're not going to call a vote ever on the roads and bridges until we have an agreement on the RECON. Well, Pelosi misheard the president, tried to make it say a agreement in principle to the RECON, not an agreement formally about the RECON. Pramila and all the progressives said, no, it's a formal agreement on the RECON. So what we've learned in the last hour or two today is that the progressives are saying very clearly now, thank goodness they're making this very, very clear because they're muddling the words, is what they want is not a, Joe Manchin appears on CBS to say, I like it, or Kristen Steimo's running a marathon saying, oh, I like it. What are you referring to? I don't know, but I like it. They want something a little bit more definitive than that. Unless Kristen Steimo keeps on running, runs like Russia and doesn't come back. They want something a little bit more definitive of that. And what definitive they now want is an actual vote. They want a vote of the senators. But where? They're now really making it very clear, the progressives, I like this, that they want the vote on the RECON in the Senate first before there's a vote on the infrastructure, roads and bridges in the House. Wow. So they really don't think there's any fear about the RECON passing the House. They think the fear still is about the RECON passing the Senate. So the House members are blocking. Let me make this very clear, because I don't think I've ever made this clear until now, because it never became news until now. The House members are trying, as House members, to block the roads and bridges being called for a vote in the House until the RECON is called for a vote in the Senate. And they have senators on board with them to protect this beyond even Bernie. Very, very great news. This is totally brand new. You're hearing this for the first time on this afternoon show. Price is right, 1.75. Yeah, but it may actually go higher. It's not going to 1.5. And I had told you over the weekend never was going to happen. Programs in, programs out. Let's go over all those details right now. So Ruben Gallego says a little bit more. Actually, let me go back to that voting. Ruben Gallego, a Democrat of Arizona, says, and he's a representative, says they need to do one thing, there's an agreement to the RECON. And Jalap Pramila said the same thing. I told anyone that would listen that we're not going to have a vote on the roads and bridges. The speaker trying to call the vote on the roads and bridges, but the president did not ask it. The president said, this is very important for you. This is brand new on Afternoons LA right now. The president said he wants us to pass both bills this coming week, and was critical for that. We will deliver both bills to him from the House next week. Wow. So there you go. If you missed my updating in this live chat of Evenings LA last night, the breaking news over last night is that we went from a framework, which is like a pamphlet or the back of an envelope or the writing on a dirty napkin of what's in the RECON, to Nancy Pelosi actually having the draft of the legislation put to the House Rules Subcommittee. Great news for Nancy, because now she's putting the RECON on fast track to get it to the House floor. So it went to that Rules Committee, and she immediately sent it over to the Senate for them to insert their opinions about what they want to have changed or added. Yes, there is where we are on that. That's also brand new. It was not the situation as of even 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time yesterday. Simon Rosenberg said that the president needs to get this done right. Joe Biden is the president, and he's been a very patient negotiator, and he's decided it's time to get it to this end. It's been long enough. His poll numbers have gone down, and it's clear he needs this. The Virginia governor's race is in peril. The president needs to get his negotiations to finish this out right. All right, let's go the programs in, programs out. Here we go. I'm going to have this in stages because there is a lot of details of what programs are in and what programs are out. First, pre-kindergarten is in. Free pre-kindergarten for 3 to 4 years is in. This is likely going to be 1 year. Child care benefits in there, the earned income tax credit for 1 year, the for the hazard pay worker, and the CTC is in there for 1 year as well. The home health care is in there additionally. I don't know how many years this is, and this is for people who are disabled and people who are seniors. It'll slide through Medicaid. Great details for that. Then expansion of the Affordable Care Act subsidies, which is the Obama subsidies, and then the Medicaid expansion across all states has happened. The hearing aid services hearing aid is now in there. Hearing aid will now be covered under Medicare. One of the things I'm not very good at, I always admit when I'm not good at something. When I'm really good at something, I'll really rub it in. But one thing I'm not good at is understanding the difference between Medicaid and Medicare. So I'm being very careful with the wording for you. So the home health care will be added in through Medicaid. The hearing benefits will be covered under Medicare. Then the expansion of those items for home repairs. And this falls under middle class items. So there will be expansion of affordable housing, and there will be $150 billion given for construction, rehabilitation, improvement of homes in middle to low income households. The Pell Grant increased by $550 and increased across the board. Free school meals for all, $65 more per child additionally. And then the tax parts, which I will skip. There are other provisions in there that we now know a little bit about. The dental, vision, and hearing and the Medicaid and the prescription medication is a very big battleground for you. So let me go right to Bernie's comments, which were 3 days ago, which is basically, you got to get this done right. And if you don't get it done right, then where are we? And I had said, if you don't get the bread and potatoes of the progressive wing at issue fixed, then you're not going to have the Senate Democrats on board. You always understand the Senate Democrats are more important than the House Democrats. You can lose some House Democrats and still pass a recon. You can't lose a Senate Democrat. Will Bernie vote against the recon of the moment? I don't know. Will Liz Warren vote against the recon? I don't know. But what they are doing is they're trying to add stuff in there. As you look across the landscape, missing is the prescription medication. Now, this is very strange. This is very strange. First, let me give you Bernie's comment about the prescription medication. Let me give you the update if it's in or out and what happened to it. Bernie said, number one thing on people's mind is being ripped off by pharmaceutical companies, being paid 10%, paying more than 10% more than other countries for pharmaceuticals after Big Pharma has 15 paid lobbyists in D.C. right now. They're all in Kristen Sinema's minivan going to another marathon. What happened with the prescription medication? This is mind-blowing. I just don't understand how to even report this. It was in there for Medicaid Part B only, which would be for people on insulin and diabetic medication. You would get the benefit of this, lower prescription medication. That was as of Thursday. That was as of Wednesday evening. Then Wednesday evening, Bernie was trying to expand it into other parts of Medicare and Medicaid. Very, very simple. He went at it broadly. This was too narrowly done. But he was having pushback from Kristen Sinema, who has Big Pharma in her pockets. So that same evening, Wednesday evening, the president got Kristen Sinema to finally, after months, agree to broad reduction of prescription medication. A huge win. This would be one of the biggest wins of this entire recon for the president. It got buried. It got buried in a news article because the next morning we woke up and cheaper prescription medication was out. Now, what I would have liked that reporter that did such a good job interviewing Bernie sporadically in the halls of the Senate in the last few hours to also ask who took it out. Because it would already in with Medicare Plan B. Then Sinema agreed to expand it. So the president was negotiating with Sinema. The president was trying to get this done before he gets on the plane to Rome. He got it done. So who took it out? Was it the president? It doesn't make sense that the president took it out. Sinema didn't take it out because she just agreed to it. Bernie didn't take it out. So who took it out? And it's not like it costs a lot of money. I'm not very clear what happened with it. Then, the next one, which is Bernie saying older people have no teeth in their mouth. They have no hearing because they have no hearing aid, and they cannot see because they can't have glasses. We need serious negotiation for expansion of Medicare to include dental, vision, and hearing. This is what the core of the progressive wing of the Democrat Party. I have confusion here as well. First, again, I do not know who put in the hearing but didn't put in the dental vision. You saw what was happening about this all this week long was the dental, Nancy said, I want it in there. But I'm having problems because dental for Medicare takes 5 to 6 years to roll into the system. So we may have to provide vouchers each year of $800 a year. And I said, that's not enough money. That's like half a tooth. So, but they were at 800, they were at vouchers. The president actually wanted 3 years. The president then wanted vouchers. And then suddenly we woke up one morning, I think it was Thursday morning, and suddenly dental was gone. Oh, who took out dental? It wasn't Joe Manchin. It wasn't Nancy. She wanted it in there. So who took it out? And vision. Vision was never an issue that had any problem. Nancy and everyone said dental was expensive. It's teeth. Teeth are expensive. Glasses are not expensive. They're $100, $120. I don't know what they are in other parts of the country for very basic glasses. $60 prescription at Costco, and $100 for. They're not. It's not a very expensive voucher. Glasses for seniors. So why was vision not in there? It's very unclear how it was in there and then wasn't in there. And so that is where the situation is very unclear across the board. All right, let's continue with some of the provisions and where they are right now. And this is where it gets very fascinating. So let's go over each of them. And the situation is very fluid. Remember what I said earlier in this video. Out at the time of this recording, Quebec could still go back in. We are not a etched in stone situation. It may seem strange because the president has a press conference, because there's a markup of the draft of the bill in a subcommittee of the House, but it doesn't mean we are on the finish line. So does it feel a little bit like when they sent it to that subcommittee to do the $3.5 trillion? It does. It's like a work in progress, but the work is not finished. Child care tax credit in there 1 year for individuals who make $60,000 or less per year. Community college out. Not clear who took it out, but I think the president wanted it out. We just went over all the things about the Medicare expansion. And I got to praise Raphael Warnock and Jim Claiborne, who are Georgia and the Carolinas. They figured out that solution for Joe Manchin, how to expand Medicare across 50 states, but still force Republican states to pay for it, that they were looking to give it to their citizens for free and force Democratic states to pay for it. They solved that part of the situation. Paid leave out, very, very important to get it back in there. Paid leave is your wife is pregnant, you have to stay home to watch the birth of your child, or your son broke his leg and there's no one to take care of him, you have to stay home for work. We're the only country, almost the only modern country in the globe that doesn't have paid family or medical leave. It was originally 12 weeks for everyone, including self-employed and gig workers. That would be Uber and Lyft at any income level. Then it was reduced to 4 weeks only for low income and employees only. And then it was out. This was taken out by Joe Manchin. I think it should be less weeks, but for more people. I think it should include self-employed people because so many people are self-employed. Childcare got in there. Great news on that. A little bit less across the board. Health insurance got in there. Cheaper and shorter programs. And one viewer sent me a beautiful message saying, make sure they get it in there. They got it in there. Housing got in there. $175 billion. Great number. Third stimulus was $46 billion. This is $175. This is for rent, mortgage, utility assistance, then the home repairs and potentially other items I don't know. And then the in-home health care. That is the home health care that slides through Medicaid. If, a lot of this is dependent upon the accuracy of some of the reporters. Some of the reporters, sometimes mess up Medicaid versus Medicare. So if I'm making a mistake, my mistake, because sometimes I'm relying upon multiple sources and seeing if the numbers are correct. Like the pre-kindergarten, someone said it was 6 years. One of the number one broadcasters said it was 6 years. It's 1 year. And then another one says 3 years. In-home healthcare, $100 to $200 billion. Great news across that. The SALT cap, which is the cap on state and local tax deduction. They wanted that removed. who wanted to remove Gothenheimer. He's from New Jersey. It helps a lot of people in very expensive states like New Jersey, New York, and California to get the cap lifted so you can have more deductions. It is not in there. It has never been in there. It wasn't in there by the middle of the week. He says he's getting it in there. Actually, he says in a different phrasing. He says, "Oh, it's in there, or it's going, or what?" You know, he talks in beyond positive. It's like, you know, altered universe positive. It's like, you know, it's like Katy Perry and Mariah hugged yesterday. They didn't hug. They did. I just see it happening. Yeah, this doesn't happen. I mean, I'd like them to hug, but it's not happening. So he says it's going in there. And Nancy says the paid leave is still going in there as well. Wow, that was a lot, wasn't it? Okay, let's go over to student loan debt forgiveness. The president has forgiven student loan debts 3 rounds and has offered another 3 rounds after that. Let's go over the incredible details of it. First, the president forgave student loan debts for individuals who became disabled after graduation. Great news. Then the president forgave student loan debts for individuals who worked for 10 years in the nonprofit sector after graduation. Wow. And then the big one was the president forgave student loan debt for individuals who went to work in the public sector for 10 years after graduation. This is your city, your county, and your state. Big news. But the president's offered $10,000 on top of that for everyone. Democrats haven't taken it. They should take it. They don't need to close the door on this negotiations. Just take that for now and come back and take more. Fifth stimulus, boy. This stimulus is going to be heating up. Why? With the wrong graphic. Here we go. Fifth stimulus is going to... Oh, that's also the wrong graphic. Here's the right graphic. Fifth stimulus is heating up. Why? Because the inflation number is coming in today, folks. I could run 2 hours of videos on it. Inflation is going up next year. It is not transitory. It's not temporary. That fascinating word, transitory. Not happening. It's going to be... with us for a while. And inflation is likely to be 1 to 3% next year, which means that COLA may not give you a second lift next year. Your benefits are going up 5 to 6% next year and lifetime. But you should be getting another lift up next year. Not under COLA because it's likely to be 0% next year after this raise up. So they're going to swap it out for inflation, which is likely to be 1 to 3% next December. Let's go with the analysis. First, you're going to raise your benefits up under COLA. But if this stimulus becomes law, then they're going to raise your benefits up another one time. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, then other benefits. Then they're going to apply a new benchmark. The new benchmark is inflation. And that will be a third step up. They're going to remove the asset cap, remove the income cap, and remove the marriage penalty. Finally, if you haven't become a member, what are you doing? Hit that link under the video today. Get that membership newsletter that goes out Monday through Friday. I haven't had time to go over third stimulus, maybe this weekend, because there is a lot of money for third stimulus. Keep on sending me your private messages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I love them. I'll feature them probably next year week. Money for third stimulus is still being paid out. Big money. Rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, home repairs, appliances like small refrigerators, furnaces, portable heaters, homeless people in the shelters, clothing, food, SNAP. And it encompasses both third stimulus and the 5 nonprofits and the money out from Treasury. That newsletter comes out Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to members of this channel. To become a member, click the link under this video. Become a Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP, and get that LALATE alert system linked up for your email. That LALATE alert system is totally free. You go into the link under the description to this video, news.lalate.com/alerts. It sends you an alert whenever there's a new video, and it sends you an alert as soon as the newsletter comes out, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. From this channel. Meantime, people have been saying, LA, I love your commentary at the end because it sort of explains everything together. I appreciate that. So let's go right into it right now. I like it because it's not super opinionated commentary. It just sort of explains the situation and where things need to go. And ironically, when I say things where the things need to go, they have headed that way. What do I look at the situation right now? What I look at is Pelosi learned her lesson in September. Don't try to shove that roads and bridges down people's throats when they're not ready to vote on it. And while she may have had a lot of spats with Pramila behind closed doors that got picked up by LA and some broadcast channels, she really kept it under wraps yesterday. You had heard on this channel that if Pelosi tries to actually call the vote on the roads and bridges Thursday evening and see the debacle she had back in September, it was a very bad look for the Democrats, for the president, and for those two senatorial races next week, Virginia, and also where's the other state? I forgot. Virginia and somewhere else. The president needs wins, and the president needs to send good optics. And shoving roads and bridges down people's throat doesn't work. So I think what is very fascinating we're learning today is this nuance of how to lock down Sinema and Manchin. Has Sinema and Manchin agreed to the recon? Yes, but so squeamishly, so vaguely, so puffery. It's with so much puffery that you really can't take it to the bank. You really need a vote in their hands. You need them calling the vote, and you actually need the vote from Manchin, Sinema, front page news, and the New York Times with their hand up saying, yes, I vote in favor of it. You need that. Otherwise, you can't really take it to the bank. And the progressives now signaling that needs to go first before anything else. Before we have a vote on the House side for the recon, before we have a House vote on the House side for the roads and bridges, we need a Kristen Sinema, Joe Manchin, and all the other senators saying, yes, I approve the recon. Interesting. Now, what do you need to get to that point? Well, you need a very fast ramp up. As Bernie said, it's a good bill. It needs to be made better. He wouldn't say if he's going to vote against it. He's not going to vote against it if it was called for a vote today. But he would try to not have it called for a vote. He would say, hey, we need to fix this better. It's good, but it needs to be a lot better. We're not going to go backwards on the bill. The bill is at a good state right now. It's going to go from good to better. It's not going to go from good to worse. Let me make that clear to you right now. So his mindset is perfect. The question is, with going from good to better, where is the wiggle room? You and I know a lot of this climate needs to be whittled down a little bit. 550 on climate, it should be 500. It can be 450. Imagine if you brought the climate from 550 to 450. That's 150. That's $100 billion right there. That could pay for a lot of things in a second. Imagine if you brought it down to 400 or 350, 375. Yeah, a lot of rooms across the board. It's very fascinating because those senators have always been the real champions for the MSC IRS stimulus check. Coons, Casey, Warren, Sanders, Schumer. You need to continue to advocate. Remember, the situation has changed. So if you advocate in the month of September, you need to advocate again. If you advocate in the month of August, you need to advocate again. If you advocated 7 weeks ago, you need to advocate again. We sort of don't know where it's most important to advocate at the moment. I'm sensing it is the Senate side because the senators may be taking the lead role on inserting things into the recon. What am I not particularly happy with? I'm not particularly happy with the House progressives sort of saying, yeah, this is a great recon. I'm good. Well, do you mean you're not adding anything else in there? I would have liked the House progressives to talk like Bernie. It's good, but I want to add stuff more in there. It's good, but I want to add some more stuff in there. I haven't heard that from Pramila in the last 24 hours. So it makes me a little bit uneased if Pramila really wants to add more stuff to the recon or says, hey, I'm fine with this recon the way it is. Perhaps it's the fault of the news reporter. Perhaps they didn't ask her the right question. But I would have liked Pramila to say that as well. And I don't want the House members to bunt kick it either to the senators to say, if you need to fix something, you fix it. I think House members should be taking the initiative as well. If something needs to be fixed, they should be fixing it. I would like AOC to come out more as well. What have I been seeing a little bit too much of and not enough of? I've been seeing too much in the last 24 hours, obviously because it was very important. Today, it's no longer an issue. Of the House members talking about which votes first, which votes second. Okay, I got that. It's all procedural talk. Now, the roads and bridges has, I forgot to explain something earlier in this video. The House and Senate is no longer in session. They come back into session on Monday. The roads surface transportation agreement has been extended to December. So it's out an additional month. So there's no worry about missing a deadline on that. But the House members say they want to get both of these done next week. As Victor Blackwell say from CNN, you've been saying that every single week for 5 months. Yeah, he's very counter-cottish, isn't he? So I would like the House members like an AOC or an Omar or a Jalapal to say something, a Pramila, to say a little bit more than what goes first on the vote. I like them to talk about substance. If they think there's something missing, say it. If you think that everything is fine, then we know where you stand as part of the Purple Power. Omar, 24 hours, 36 hours ago, said she was unhappy with the certain progressive priorities were out. Well, what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? Come forward and say what you want to do. And that's why I love that reporter's question to Bernie was, are you going to try to add stuff? I am going to try to add stuff. And that is where your advocacy needs to rely on, making sure these senators, Coons, Casey, Warren, Sanders, Schumer, add stuff in there that needs to be added. Liz Warren, not talking a lot across the situation. Chris Coons, a lot of pep rally-ish talking. I'm not really happy with Chris Coons' talking, like in clouds and circles, just sort of round and around and around. Bob Casey, very, very grounded. I love his way of talking, saying I need to fix things. We're still working. It's very frustrating. I like it. You see how certain legislators have done a really good process during this entire process, and others have just sort of just wanted to be the cheerleader. And with that, we got a big show coming up later. Evenings LA expect to be totally different than the show. But join me next on Overnight's Crypto. And remember, the 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and 11:30 shows are all about the same programs. Very, very informative, very helpful. We now have a programming block that literally goes from Evenings LA to then Evenings Countdown to then Street and Stimulus. That is literally 3 hours of programming. You can sit back, relax, enjoy. The videos take you from one to the next. You don't have to even touch a finger. You can get in the live chat, see your friends, and chat around for 3 hours nonstop and be really informed. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Casino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful day, and stay with LA for more.